Story 1. Girlfriends, 20F. Prank was way too real for me, 22M. Need your opinion. My girlfriend recently texted me saying that her religious beliefs had led her to realize that our relationship wasn't what she was meant for, and she decided to end things because of it. I was completely taken aback. I let her know that, while her religious awakening was valid for her, it felt extremely unfair to me, and if she wanted to end things, she was free to do so. She then said something like, "I absolutely don't want to lose you as a friend." I replied, "I don't owe it to you to be your friend anymore." And then, out of nowhere, she said, "Well, I guess the prank has gone too far." Too far. We had been going back and forth for an hour, while I was literally spiraling inside, devastated and overwhelmed. And she says it was all a prank? This whole thing started with me mentioning that she had been distant lately, and her response was this whole long, religious breakup spiel. In her defense, she's genuinely sweet, and I never would have expected her to break up with me over something like this. But in my defense, she had been acting off for a while, and the reasons she gave for wanting to break up were so convincing, it felt completely real. So real, in fact, that I'm still struggling to wrap my head around it. Now she's saying, "Babe, I was just trying to spice things up." I mean, she's sweet, but this doesn't feel like a prank she'd pull. She's now acting like I'm the one who's in the wrong for believing her, saying, "How could you believe my prank?" Honestly, I'm having a hard time buying that this was all a joke. I really need some outside perspective here. Was this all a prank, or did she just chicken out and try to cover it up? What do you think? Comment 1. This is a relationship ender. Testing people never ends well. Neither do pranks. Comment 2. How does doing this spice things up? It almost sounds like it was a test to see if you would fight for the relationship / her. Sit her down and have her explain how this spices anything up in a relationship. Comment 3. That's not a prank. That's emotional damage. You don't fake a breakup over religion just to spice things up. That hits a real nerve, especially when it drags on for an hour and feels 100% legit. I don't blame you at all for being overwhelmed. Anyone would be. I had an ex pull something similar, pretended to be pregnant as a joke. It messed with my head bad, and after that, I couldn't trust her the same way. Your girl flipping it on you like, "How could you believe it?" is just her dodging responsibility. That's not sweet, that's immature. Comment 4. Sounds like she was trying to break up and got cold feet when she found out you didn't want to be friends, aka act as her crutch through the breakup. Story 2. We recently lost our son and I, 32M, suspect she, 33F, is having an affair. My wife, 33F, and I, 32M, have been married for a year now. We've been together for about 3 years, but we've known each other since we were kids. We grew up together, best friends first, then partners. During our relationship, I made significant sacrifices, including stepping away from my career and moving away from my home to be with her. We were 6 months pregnant with our son when things took a tragic turn. Late in the pregnancy, we encountered complications that required emergency surgery for my wife. Unfortunately, we lost the baby, and our son didn't survive. Grief affects people differently, and I'm not perfect. I dealt with my own pain in unhealthy ways, by losing myself in video games, spending long hours at the gym, and isolating myself from family and friends just to cry alone. But through all that, I always made sure to show up for my wife, giving her love and support through this devastating loss. However, after a few weeks, I began to notice a change in my wife. She became angry, short-tempered, and even abusive at times. She blamed me for our son's death, saying it was my fault. She started questioning whether there was something genetically wrong with me or if I had some kind of bad karma that affected our baby. Then, she mentioned divorce, saying that this tragedy might be a sign we weren't meant to be together. Around this time, I started noticing some strange behavior. She became extremely protective of her phone, always trying to hide the screen when I was nearby and deleting messages when I was in the room. She started sleeping with her phone under her pillow, and I couldn't help but feel like something was off. She was invited to attend a wedding in Hawaii, but I wasn't. She said the venue was too small to accommodate significant others, so I thought little of it at first. But I offered to go with her anyway, thinking it would be a good opportunity for us to reconnect, mourn together, and heal. She seemed very reluctant, almost like I was a burden. She worked hard to convince me not to come, but eventually, I convinced her to let me go. When we arrived, things only got more strained. She insisted we stay in separate hotels because she needed to be close to her sister and be involved with the wedding. While she was there, she barely communicated with me. She ignored my texts and didn't answer my calls. Occasionally, she would send me a picture of food or scenery, but when I confronted her later, she said she didn't have time to respond to my messages because she was involved with the wedding activities. The thing is, there were no bridesmaids, groomsmen, or maid of honor at the wedding, so it wasn't like she had any responsibilities. I found myself alone in my hotel room, with my mind racing in dark, uncertain places. I felt like I was losing my mind. I don't know if I'm supposed to grieve the loss of my son or if I'm grieving the loss of my marriage. It feels like everything I've done, upholding my vows, supporting her through everything, hasn't been enough. This doesn't feel fair to our son. I want to have a healthy conversation with her about everything that's happening, but I'm not sure how to approach it. What do I need to ask to get through to her? How do I navigate this? I feel like my world is falling apart and I'm lost. Comment 1. You both need to be in therapy. This may not even be cheating, just pulling away after the loss of your child. The hidden phone may be complaining, talking to family, or maybe you're right and she's cheating. Still, very unhealthy. Without a place to address it and talk, there isn't any hope. Comment 2. I'm so sorry for your loss. Grief plus pregnancy hormones. I can't imagine how hard this must have been for both of you. This issue is above the Reddit pay grade. Please seek professional help. Individual therapy and maybe followed by couples counseling would be my suggestion. If you can't afford therapy, there are group grief counseling programs to look into. If she does not want to go with you, offer to let her go alone and find a separate group for yourself. Wishing you strength and healing. Comment 3. This is above my and people on Reddit pay grade. You both need therapy, trust me on this. I lost a child and never went to therapy and almost did the unthinkable. Please both of you find a therapist, both individual and couples therapy. Comment 4. How can you in one sentence say you played video games for hours and was at the gym for hours, but the next sentence you say you spent so much time giving attention to your wife? That does not make any sense. If you're in the gym for hours, you're not at home with your wife. If anything, she probably thought you were having an affair. You both need to be in counseling for the loss of the baby, and you need to ask her what is going on. Story 3. My F28 husband M28 left me alone during an abortion. My husband M28 and I F28 have had discussions about having children, but both agreed that we're not ready yet. One night, he made a careless mistake that led to me getting pregnant. When I told him, he was pretty indifferent about it and left the decision entirely up to me. I've been really sick lately, recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, and after thinking it through, I decided that being pregnant on top of everything else just wasn't the right time. There are other reasons, but I'm not here to justify my decision, so please no comments on that. I went to the doctor alone because I knew he had a really busy week at work. He runs his own business and had a lot of jobs lined up. I didn't think it was necessary for him to come with me. After the appointment, I called him, and he answered with, "Is this important?" "I'm busy." I said no and ended the call, then cried the whole way home. Later that night, I talked to him about staying home with me the following Saturday when I would be taking medication to help with the miscarriage, just in case something went wrong. He said he would work, but would stay if I really needed him. Saturday came, and he woke me up early, saying he had to go to work, a job 15 minutes away that he didn't even need to go to, and told me to call him if I needed anything. To say the day went badly would be an understatement. I was in intense pain, bleeding heavily, and vomiting. I was stuck in the bathroom, unable to reach my phone or the pain meds in the bedroom. I ran out of toilet paper and couldn't get any from downstairs. It was honestly traumatic. By 9 a.m., after an hour of suffering, I managed to get back to bed and took some pain medication to get through the rest of it. I ordered some food and tried to sleep. He didn't check in on me all day. He came home around 3 p.m. and asked how my day had been. Later, when I talked to him about what happened, he said, I didn't realize it was that bad. While part of me wants to believe he didn't know how bad the experience would be for me, I'm really struggling to forgive him. Every time I think about how alone and helpless I felt, I just start crying, and I don't feel like I can talk to anyone else about it. We've had a strong relationship for the past 8 years, but I'm finding it really hard to move past this. Is this something worth considering divorce over, or can we work through it? TLDR. Husband went to work when he didn't need to, didn't realize how bad the abortion/forced miscarriage process would be, and didn't check on me all day. Comment 1. Would any of your other friends have left you to endure this alone and been dismissive about your experience? Comment 2. Sickness and health? Sounds like the kind of guy who'd go find his next wife while you were on your deathbed. Comment 3. This would be unforgivable and relationship breaking for me. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.